Hi, I'm Ashutosh Negi, and in this video, we're going to study about sexual reproduction in plants. As we'll see around us, we'll see many plants, and they will grow some beautiful flowers, and these flowers produce male and female reproductive organs, which on fusion produces seed, and those seeds are used to grow up new plants. In this way, sexual reproduction is done. So let's see how it is done in an elaborated form. So, sexual reproduction in plants. The first point is that sexual reproduction in plants takes place through reproductive parts of the plant. Yes, through reproductive parts of the plant. And these reproductive parts are the flowers. These are the flowers as we right now listen. Now, they are the part of the shoot. And yes, we have to remember that they are the part of the shoot of the plant, not of the roots. They are the part of the shoot. Now, if we'll see the definition, it is a modified shoot. As we know, it is a part of the shoot. It is a modified shoot whose main function is to reproduce or is reproduction. So, the main function of flower is to reproduce so that it can produce seeds and that can grow into new plants. Now, a flower has four words. Four words mean four parts, we can say. And those four parts or four words are classified into two types. What are those two types? Essential words and non-essential words. Now, for non-essential words, if we'll see, this is the structure of a typical plant, typical flower. But before learning or studying about the non-essential words, we should know that how a flower is connected to the plant. Obviously, it is the part of shoot. So there is a kind of part which connects flower with the shoot of the plant, and that is called as pedicel. So pedicel is the part which connects the flower with the plant. Now, if we'll see further, there is a flattened part in the pedicel, and that is known as a receptacle or the thalamus. So, through this, other worlds are connected to it, and the flower is formed. Now, firstly, it is the calyx. Means calyx is a group of sepals. Now, sepals are these. These we can see that they are tiny green color. They are in green color and they are looking like they are leaves, but no, they are not leaves. They are tiny green leaf like structures that are present, and they are the first word of a typical flower. Now if we'll see, they are the first, so they are connected to the thalamus, and these are the outermost world, and they help the flower when it is in the bud stage. Now what happens, it is in the bud stage, and as we can say that this is very small, and there can be climatic conditions. So sepals protects the flower when it is in the bud stage from other climatic conditions, and it is closed like this. When the flower is mature, then it will come out and the sepals will come like this. Now, corolla, it is the second outermost word, and they are next to the sepals. So they are the petals. They are the beautiful colored pink, red, orange, and multiple colors they have. So they are the petals. They are scented with sweet smell. And now if we'll see the essential words, then we can see that they now in this we can see that this is a blue kind of structure like this, and this yellow and black. What is this? See, at the starting, I told you that a flower produces two reproductive organs, and those two reproductive organs are male and female. For the male, they are the stamen. A single unit is known as stamen, and this is the sign for male and this is the sign for female. Now, if we'll talk about stamen, it has two parts. One is this anther. Anther has inside pollen grains, about which we'll learn further, and this is a thread-like structure, very thin, and it is very delicate. And this is known as filament. It helps the anther to stand up. And now it is the male part. So what is the collection of stamens known as? It is known as androecium. It is known as androecium and it is the male part. So it is the delicate thread-like structure. Now if we talk about gynoecium, it is the female part and here it is the pistil. One unit pistil or we can also call them as carpels. Now if we'll together in a collection we'll call them, then we'll call them gynoecium, or if they are only one then carpel or pistil. Now they are divided into three groups. First is the stigma, which is the uppermost part. Then in the middle there is a style. We can say it as the neck. It is the neck of the pistil or carpel. Then comes the ovary. Now inside ovary we have ovule, which is a body which contains egg cells. Now, egg cells, when fertilization takes place, successful fertilization, then it will produce seeds, and then then this ovule will turn into seed, and this ovary will turn into a fruit. So, if we'll take out the seed, then we can grow up new plants. But before that, we have to understand many more things. Before fertilization, there are even more processes that are important, really important for the final process of fertilization. So, we have learned about this. But what if a flower is not, it does not has the androecium or the gynoecium? If it contains all the four worlds, then it is called a complete flower. It is called a complete flower. But if any one word, at least one word is missing, then it is called incomplete. But if it is containing all the four words, it can also be called as complete flower or a typical flower. Typical or complete. If it contains only the male parts, only the male reproductive organs, which are the stamen, which is the stamen, then it is called as stamenite. Stamenite. It is called as stamenite. And if it is containing only the female part, then it is called as pistillate. Pistillate. But now there is another name. See, if it is containing only one reproductive organ, then it is called as unisex. Uni means one and sex means male or female. Now, if it has only one reproductive organ, male or female, either of them, but not both of them, then it is called as unisexual flower. But if it contains both of the male and female parts, then it is called as bisexual flower. Now, if we'll see, this is the stamen. Now, stamen has anther and filament. Now, this is the thread-like structure. It is very delicate. And this is the bilobe, means one lobe and second lobe. So it is called as bilobed. And if we'll cut it from here, then we'll see that there are four compartments. First, second, third and fourth compartment. So these four contain pollen grains. And these are the pollen sacs, bag-like structure. And they contain the pollen grain. Now, pollen grains help in the further processes which is known as pollination. So, pollen grains are very important for the process of pollination. Now, we'll see further, there is the function of a flower. What functions does a flower has? First, it is the reproductive organ of the plant. Now, it is a reproductive organ means it has the ability to reproduce and has the ability to produce seed so that it can help in the formation or the growth of a new plant with the help of seeds. A flower contains the male parts which are called the stamen and the female parts which are called as the carpels. And now, as I told you about these pollen grains, now we shall read about them. The pollen grains from the male part are transferred by air, water, or insects to the female part of the flower. Now, the pollen grains from this part, from here, will go reach here. Now, the pollen grains from here will go here and then it will, this process, the movement or transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the flower or the pistil of the flower is known as pollination. So this process is called pollination, which further helps in the fertilization and the production of seeds. Now, here it is written, it can be done by air, water, or insects. So it differs from each other. Like if it is done by air, then the properties of the flower would be different. If by water, then they would be different. If by insect, they would be different. And it will also affect the, it may be unisexual or bisexual. By air, as we know, by air means if wind will blow, then only the pollination would take place. By water means by the water current, and by insects means insect will come to one flower and then go to another plant of which contains the flower, and this will result in pollination. But afterwards, if we learn, then there would be many situations or many conditions so that a successful pollination can take place. It is not like a insect come here and goes there, any plant and of any flower, and then pollination will occur. If we'll study further, then we'll know that there are many situations that pollination can occur. So till now, keep learning and keep reading. We have covered the topics of sexual reproduction in plants, the structure of a typical flower, the non-essential worlds, essential worlds, what is the structure of stamen, functions of a flower. In the next video, we'll learn about pollination and the types of pollinations. So till then, be ready and keep studying. Thank you for watching. Bye.